Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. You?
Yeah, I'm all right too. Yeah.
Alright. Thanks for coming, everyone. Hope you all have an alright day too. Um, yeah, no, it's been good. I just got finished watching a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah, it's a Seth released one.
Oh, no, I watched that like an hour or so ago. Oh,
Oh.
it was some small YouTuber making a video about some fucking nuclear disaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. How was it?
Oh, it was alright. Um, oh fuck, I'll link you the video. Hang on. Yeah, this guy here. Sounds like a bit of a fag, but I mean, for those
Uh,
not in on the joke, SHG over here just released a video on topics and stuff. Would you like to tell us a bit about it?
yeah. Okay, I'll just quickly say what it is. It's a video on the often under talked about nuclear disaster that befell Japan, which is the Lucky Dragon Number 5 incident in 1954 from the Castle Bravo nuclear tests, where a sailor died and a ship was contaminated, and it's all very political and it led to a lot of cultural things. Um, sort of the background for doing this is people who've listened and people who know and have heard me sort of talk about me wanting to make a video. No, I've never talked about this before. I've never discussed making a
Yes,
video
so
on.
the topic has taken me very much by surprise. It's actually something I was not familiar with at all.
Well, that was kind of why I made it. So to sort of give the background as to why I chose this topic. When I had my lecture on this and the assigned readings for it was only like one part of a lecture and like one of the readings for that week in this class. But I found it fascinating because I do consider myself at least like above average educated in Japanese history. You know, above the layman, not an expert, but and I had no idea about this. So
I mean, to be honest, like is so long as you can say a distinction between the Edo and the Sengoku period, I think that's the average
yeah,
Japanese
yeah, it's
historical standard.
it's a low bar. Yeah, that's yeah.
You bring Meiji into this, and whew, look at Mister PhD over here.
But yeah, so I of course want to make my video on the Meiji Restoration and Tokugawa period. That's what I've been doing my research on. But I'd already done all the research because I had to write a paper on nuclear, on sort of atomic cultures and such. So I wrote a paper with this stuff in last week because I'm in my sort of exam period right now, and it's like so all this information is back in my head, clear as day, and it's like I got some video editing software, and because I really do want to make these videos, and I thought, well, I'd rather not spend the research for these big videos are taking me weeks of my life. I'd rather not put it out totally inexperienced. I should have like a crash run and get some feedback, see what people like and see what people don't like. See if all the technical aspects are good. See how to like figure out how to use my software. And so I
Yeah,
thought,
that's a fun thing to do.
yeah, it,
Whenever I have to do something that isn't do this podcast, I do spend like a solid maybe an hour or so going like, okay, how do I do this like transition effect? Because I don't
yeah,
fucking do it.
and trust me, I made mistakes and yeah, I actually wanted to do more things, but I accidentally fucked up. And I was like, oh, I've irrevocably like I can't go back and add this more stuff. I'm at a point of no return. So okay, I guess I'll just ship it as it is. But it was like, what can I like just talk about for a period of time kind of off the top of my head, I did have like a sheet of A4 paper.
How can I
Uh,
recreate the lightning that was a 3 hour long drunk rambling?
yeah.
I need to bottle that. How do I do it?
And so I just like thought like I had like an A4 sheet of notes, like quick notes, but no script. And I was like, what can I just talk about this that people don't know about? That would be interesting. And this it was in my mind, and so I thought, okay, like, I had an intense exam yesterday, I had an intense paper yesterday, so today, I had my software, and I just thought, fuck it, I'll just bash it out. I should just try it. So
A good
I
mindset
tried.
to have. I will say on the topic of like maybe people don't know about this. Literally, the first thing I get recommended after watching the video is Kyle Hill's video on the Castle Bravo incident.
Yeah, yeah.
For those who don't know, Kyle Hill is a big nuclear power shill, and he does a lot of videos on like nuclear power and disasters that involve it and such.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
he's a shill to an almost obnoxious fucking degree. Because it's always just in this dick measuring contest about how bad coal power is.
Mm.
It's just weird. He's also
Yeah,
not
like
funny. Like he tries to be funny and it isn't really funny.
yeah, I
Good
must say,
good
oh,
information
sorry.
though. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was definitely more going for like information sort of like density, just talking.
Mm.
Um, I sort of punched in my lines. I sort of divided the video into 6 parts. Used Audacity, recorded each of the 6 parts, and I was like, oh, okay, so I have this thing done. Like, this is what I wanted to do. I have this pretty much done, but I should probably create some visuals. I was like, what won't take really any time or creative thing? I was like, okay, a PowerPoint. So I just did a PowerPoint, but the visuals are very much placeholder. It's just something because you can't upload something with no visuals. So I just sort of that took about an hour to
Dude,
do.
just play a game for like a few hours and then run it at 3 times speed.
Yeah, I should have thought of that. But
Just,
yeah,
I guess like, I don't know. Can we get into follow up questions on it now? Because
oh, I really want feedback and all, like, genuinely. Yeah, yeah, go for it.
so for starters, where the fuck was Castle Bravo incident?
It was at the Bikini Atoll.
Okay, good. So I did guess right. I
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't specifically say it, but I said they were sailing close to the Bikini Atoll, and then I said, like, and the bomb was tested.
I,
Actually probably should have said those together. Yeah,
I just remember Bikini Atoll being a big nuclear test site.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
also another one more relevant to New Zealand, which I think I it's one of those ones where you kind of say it, but you never remember how to spell it. It's like Marurua Atoll or something. It was a big French testing ground, which is relevant to New Zealand because it's the one we protested a lot.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's the whole Rainbow Warrior incident. I think I've talked about it before.
Do you want to refresh us?
Um, Greenpeace vessel docked in New Zealand was um sunk by French saboteurs to prevent it from protesting French nuclear testing in the Pacific Ocean,
Right.
resulting in the death of one person, a photographer. I think he was from New Zealand though.
Mm.
Um, the French saboteurs were arrested, imprisoned, and then sent back to France. Well, then extradited to France, where they were then given a hero's welcome.
Ugh.
But yeah, I'm just trying to. I just wanted to be sure where it was because it is one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, the it granted it's outside the scope of the video, but it doesn't really touch on like the scope of being on a fishing vessel. It's like, oh yeah, they were like hanging out around this nuclear test site, and then a few days later they got sick, and like 14 days after this shit, they finally get back to Japan.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
that not Odyssey tier shit.
like the book I read was all about that. Like I could have done a far greater extent on the sailors themselves. Like in my sort of original notes from that lecture, you know, I've got like the times, like, oh, 3 hours later the first person got like started getting red eyes and all that. But again, it was very much a I want to get this out
That's what
quickly,
he
and
gets for having the skipper fart on his face.
and I wanted to sort of stay on with just things that interested me and things I could remember. Basically, I wanted to do this with the least amount of work as possible, and it still took like pretty much the day, sort of like the afternoon at least to evening. So
Yeah, like I'm not entirely criticizing. Again, we are doing this all with the understanding that this is the first attempt at fucking anything.
yeah,
Aside from re-uploading a like streamer clip.
I must say like I was like, do I make a new channel for this? Because do I really want it to be on this one? I haven't like disavowed that thought for like future, like for the actual like more researched content, but
It's fine. I've seen tons of channels do like a turnaround.
no, same honestly. I don't need to, but
It's funny when people are like, "Oh, we don't want to confuse our viewers. Like, we want to keep all the gaming content to this one channel." And then you have like my channel where I upload fucking everything, and it doesn't seem to affect it. Granted, I'm dealing on a much smaller scale. Where it's like, oh, I upload a War Thunder video and it gets 500 views, and then the next 10 Sad Bear and Guy episodes might be lucky to break 10.
yeah.
And then and then
one day
I'll
do
still,
numbers.
and then some point I'll get like someone who does go back and look at it, and then they just end up subscribing because they watched the Azalane video, which I want to make more of. I just don't. The thing is, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if I do this, I'm gonna have to rewatch an anime, and I don't want to rewatch anime.
that is a lot of work. That's a lot of effort to put into a post.
Literally 6 hours worth of entertainment, and I can't stand it. Yeah. So I mean, that was kind of the only. I was also really not sure where it was going at the beginning. Like when you were talking about nuclear disasters, and he's like in the 1950s, like fuck, did they have reactors back then? Like even America barely had nuclear reactors back then.
Yeah, it's again, this is why it was so fascinating to me. It was just totally forgotten, and yeah, hearing. I mean, I must say the whole Godzilla thing was supposed to be a twist, but I didn't do a thumbnail, and YouTube picked that sort of 5-second frame as the thumbnail. So, and I was like, you know what? That's honestly probably it's either going to be a PowerPoint slide or that. So, what the hell? I'll just.
I mean, you can always
keep that.
I don't know. Have you like verified enough to get a to do custom thumbnails? Because I remember that was a barrier to entry when I started.
If I remember right, I for the infamous Wuchi Gaming, I did custom thumbnails.
Alright.
But no, I don't think I've ever tried like on this channel at least. Is that I don't like of all the stuff I've done. This is like the first like creative thing I've done that I want to be seen since I was doing art like 5 years ago.
There's a fucking callback.
Yeah. So yeah, it's but like genuinely I want to know everything about what you thought and I don't personally, I mean, I know this is for the listeners as well. They may not care, but for me, I don't give a shit about how much minutia we get into. I want to improve. I want to get better, and I know you'll be honest about it. So.
Oh no, it's one of those like the only critique I really have two maybe, is not enough slides.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there needs to be more like pictures of context of stuff at certain times. And this one isn't really a critique so much as just the personal preferences. It was a bit on the anemic side for me. Granted, I'm the kind of person that will sit down and watch a 40-minute long version of this.
So it was like too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, let me just. I'm legitimately writing this down. So,
do not take my preference as something you should strive towards.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's still good, but yeah, it's like I would have, if there was more information, I would have been happier.
Yeah, and again, this is a topic where, like, I don't I want to be careful with how I say this because it might come off as a bit like braggy, but like when sort of at the level I'm at in terms of like education, at least in the UK, how it works is we go really in depth in like a very small thing, you know. So whereas in a more macro level, a more macro level of sort of education, maybe let's say secondary school or whatever, where you just sort of learn the basics and such. Here, it's like we're given enough resources, enough materials, and we're expected to be able to talk for an hour, 2 hours on very small things. Like the evolution of the tea ceremony in over a decade in 1680 to
fucking
1690.
trains.
Yeah, so it's something that I definitely had read enough material that I could have, if I took a day or two to refresh my mind and take notes, I could have easily done a 45, 60-minute thing. And I do think that the content I'm aiming to make is going to be longer than that. But I'm not discounting like quick little videos like that, but that was very much why I picked that topic. Was it's a quick subject, which is why I didn't say what it was before, because if I said like, if I said I'm going to be doing a video about the Lucky Dragon number 5, all somebody has to do is Google the Lucky Dragon number 5, and you basically get most of the content in the video. It's hidden, but it's not like obfuscated. I don't know. It's not covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah, it's so how was like the information presented?
I thought it was fine.
Okay, because like listening to it back, you obviously like. I think it's the same with like when I was drawing or anything creative, where you get very, you maybe think it's shitter than it actually is, but when I was listening to it back and whatever, I was, it's like what I'm talking so slow, I'm making pauses. I did actually do a bit of audio editing to cut out some of the pauses and some of the ums, but like halfway through, I was like, I will like breathe in and then and then like breathe out and then talk. And so it's like, and then immediately go into a sentence. So it's like, I can't really cut any of that because it'll just sound disjointed. So I was like, I've kind of picked up on a lot of things that I didn't know I did.
Yeah, that happens. I just live with it.
Yeah, I got over it sort of, but it's still like, oh my god, how many times do I say?
Oh, I did appreciate all of the disclaimers, not the ones at the beginning where you're talking about like what the scope of this video is, and that's kind of why I'm not trying to like conflate my preferences with critiques. Like, yes, I know this isn't supposed to be a 40-minute long video, so it's kind of dumb to say that that's what I would prefer. But all of this game's like, this is the only nuclear attacks so far.
I want to future proof, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, so I was recording them in chunks, and I didn't have I like Audacity's a bit weird, and I was already trying to learn how to edit things on like my editing software, so I was like, I'm not gonna bother to learn Audacity. And when I tried to like re-record like a little bit, and I got put at the end, and I was like, I don't care enough to learn how to like edit and do this properly. So like I would say little things because it was unscripted. So I would say something, and like the one I remember is when I talk about the USIA,
Yeah.
and I say that initially say it's the United States Intelligence Agency, and then I'm like, oh, wait, is it, no? I say or information agency, maybe.
If it was
Like I say that, and it's like it is the information agency. I knew that, but
you
'cause
can't
I'm
you
just
can't have the United States Intelligence Agency because those kind of things really need to be 3-letter groups.
yeah. Yeah, so like things like that, and again like saying with the only thing so far is like if it was scripted, I wouldn't have that in it. I would have seen that or whatever, but because I just said it and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go back and change little things like that. So yes, I am.
Personally, I look forward to the rare moments where over enthusiasm seeps through when you start talking about fucking what's his name, the corrupt motherfucker.
Oh, it's Tanaka Kako.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun time. I genuinely look forward to it.
I fucking love Tanaka. I fucking love him. Oh.
You love him in the way that you just love like an absolute fucking cock.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah. Like Berlusconi, Like
Never heard of him.
oh, he was the Italian prime minister. He did mad shit. And like
How far back are we talking here?
oh, not that long. Maybe a decade.
Euro politics were not interesting back in like a decade ago.
But I'm European, so I guess that's maybe.
Didn't you know like world politics hasn't existed since 2016 and didn't exist until 2016?
Oh, of course, yes.
It was just like there was a brief gap between 2016 and 1990 where nothing happened.
He's got a 3-page long Wikipedia article just on legal problems, and the controversies tab is oh my god, it's so long. Holy shit! Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. There's this one. I think he was a French politician. I might be wrong. He was either a politician or an author, and he just pays like annual fines every year for denying the Holocaust in France because he just doesn't give a shit. That's some top tier controversy shit. I don't know why that's where my mind immediately went to for this. Aside from just my innate need to deny the Holocaust.
It's an essential thing to live. Shit. Okay. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I'm glad I liked it too. Otherwise, this would have been just half an hour of me taking a shit, and that would have been terrible.
Well, like I said, I appreciate the critique. Like, definitely the visual element, as you were saying, like more slides.
Yes, we need more pictures of things like. Not a single picture of a nuclear explosion or bomb in this entire thing.
No, you're wrong. No, there's a picture of the Castle Bravo detonation.
I mean, I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I need to watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, they were very placeholder. I am probably going to go like the PowerPoint route, but.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying weeks ago, PowerPoint route is extremely, extremely fucking valid.
Really?
Yes. Like I said, Greg's Planes and Automobiles is a fantastic fucking channel.
Well, personally, I like sort of like the drawn ones, or sort of the symbol based ones, like Historia Civilis and um, shit like that. But you have to like be creative, and I'm just not. Um,
I mean, I think military history visualized does good with iconography.
mm,
Just don't stand in front of your wall and talk.
no, I want to be Lindy Beige.
Oh, I guess Linda. Okay, don't stand in front of a green screen and talk.
I that's it. I'm not confident enough to
Although, to
talk
be honest,
on
talking
camera.
talking in front of a camera would make for a great gimmick if you just if every video was just done with you in like a Newcastle United shirt. You know, like there's just this absolute goon fucking teaching you about history of a country on the other side of the
With
world.
just like a fag in my hand and a beer in the other, just
Exactly.
like.
That would be the perfect fucking gimmick.
Uh, but that might be an April Fool's.
Li-
Know it?
just like, yeah, pub history. Literally just sitting in like the corner of a bar with a pint and just talking about whatever complex subject happened to be the thing of the week.
Yeah, fuck. I could go the history of Japanese pubs, izakayas and shit. Um, I know nothing about that, so I can't bullshit.
Is that those ones that like the are the tourist trap now, where it's just like an alleyway and it's like there's 500 bars down this alleyway and all of them are just like three seats and a guy.
That's Golden Guy. Yeah. No. Like an izakaya is more like, um, yeah, it's like a Japanese pub basically. Um, it's mainly like all you can eat, all you can drink, sort of stuff. Like
Oh yeah,
if you remember like Trash Taste and whatever, whenever they talk about like those places,
yeah, I
they
remember
mean like
that now.
izakayas. Yeah. There's more focus on the food than like in Britain, of course. But
What are you talking about? Literally fish and chips.
no, but that's what I mean. Like you go to a British pub and like if you're on Sunday, you get a carvery. You know, if it's a good one, and you want chips, you want peanuts. That's pretty much it. You know,
Yeah.
or microwave shit.
So I guess
Um,
on that note, fucking friends of the family had the worst fucking experience at a pub a couple of weeks ago. No, last week I think.
no.
Um, I'll tell the story because it's something to fucking talk about.
Yeah, sure.
It's one of the place they went to was one of our biggest clients at work as well. Like legit, they're just blowing 5 grand a week on shit. So, you know, great customer. Um, but hang on. So, a friend of the family recently turned 18, and they wanted to go out for dinner. I didn't go. I'm not quite that close in the relation, but you know, other people of the household didn't. That's how I heard about the story. But they booked a reservation like weeks ahead, like 2 weeks ahead, and
Wait for a pub.
yeah, or for the like restaurant section of the pub.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like it like pubs here. I don't know how it works in the UK, but it is kind of split into like two parts where there is the pub part of it, which is like 25% restaurant, 75% pub, where you know
Yeah,
like the cricket's on the TV or whatever's the big thing that night. And then there's the other half of it, which is like 75% restaurant, 25% pub.
yeah.
And yeah, you can kind of like reserve seating there. And they wanted, and so they're like booked ahead 2 weeks ahead for seating for like, I think it was like 10 or 11. They show up the day of and they completely fucked up the seating. And they're like, okay, we'll put you in the pub side of it. So, you know, there's like a big, long, like, table that's normally for like standing with bar stools. Not where the bar actually is, but just like the middle one where everyone kind of leans on it to watch the TV. And that's where they were seated for it, and it was right next to the fucking band as well.
Tell me it was like a bagpipe band or
not
something.
not a bagpipe band, but like local shit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's like they had the band in front of them, and on the other side they had the speaker for the band. So
Oh,
they were trapped in the fucking middle of it, and they had kids as well. Um, they left pretty early on, which was the smartest fucking choice because it only gets worse from there. Um,
oh shit! It
yeah,
gets worse.
yeah. So they do that. The restaurant comps them like drinks for the fuck up, so they get a free round of drinks. Yeah, fair enough. Um, so they sit around, they have the conversations, whatever, for about an hour. Then they order the food. Um, the long and short of it, 3 hours on, they hadn't received their food.
3 hours.
3 hours. They'd seen food come out of the fucking kitchen and go to the other people. Um, they'd asked on like 2 occasions, like, "Where the fuck is our food?" And it's like, "Oh, it's coming right now." And
Uh,
I and this is kind of where my insider knowledge comes into this. Is like, I know what they buy. It's not complex shit. You know, like it's still pub food. It's like burgers and chips, but like a decent burger. But I know where it comes from, and it comes from the freezer. They're not
yeah.
blending their own fucking patties. They're not raising fucking cattle out back. I've seen the back of the fucking pub. There's no grass out there. Um, so it boggles the fucking mind that how they'd like not managed to set up reasonable production for a burger.
Yeah, that is
Um,
mad. 3 hours.
yeah, and so it gets to about 3 hours in. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Um, my diabetic stepmother, who did attend, is like on the verge of going hypo because she hasn't eaten yet.
Yeah.
Um, so they ask for a refund, and they get denied because we gave you free drinks 4 hours ago. And it's like the drinks weren't compensation for the fact that you fucked up the meal for 3 hours. The drinks were compensation because you fucked up the seating 4 hours ago. And it turned into a big kerfuffle. I don't know if she's actually gotten her money back yet. I need to go ask about that. But it was an interesting fucking night. The birthday girl was in fucking tears because of what a disaster it was.
Imagine. Oh my god.
Um,
Because I'm sorry, I don't care if it's someone's birthday. Like, if I'm waiting for my food and it's 2 hours, I don't give a shit. I know what I'm
oh,
talking about, you
so
know?
so this is
Like,
this is where it gets worse ish now. So they're like, fuck it. Like, we'll deal with this refund shit tomorrow when we can talk to the actual owners and not the fucking duty manager.
yeah.
They leave and like, fuck it, let's go to Burger King because they prefer Burger King. It's like fair enough. The issue is that night was Speedway night. Um,
Speedway now.
so there's an arena in town that has like this dirt track. It's like it's I don't know how to describe stock
No, no,
cars.
no. Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah. There's one close to me as well.
Yeah, except I'm not sure how to describe stock cars because when I look up stock cars on Google, a lot of the pictures show American ones which aren't like our ones.
Yeah.
And so the only way I can really describe like stock cars is go look up a picture of a Model T Ford
Okay.
and imagine like modernizing that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like with proper fucking tires and suspension and all that, and a like
Yeah, we have
actual
something like that.
and an actual like
I-
casing.
Yeah, I don't think it's called stock car racing. Like, there's a name for it, but I'm my knowledge of racing is limited to one sport, so I don't fucking
And
know.
there's also like a massive sail on the roof, which serves the purpose of 50% advertising space.
Yeah.
And 50% a sail to prevent you from like rolling over when you drift, because there's a lot of
Right. Right.
fucking drifting in this. It's it's peak redneck shit,
Mm.
and my city has like a big arena for it. I can actually like show videos on YouTube of like stock car racing in Palmy. I'll put some links in the description. That was going on that night, and it had just finished. So everyone, all the fans and attendees were piling out of the fucking arena and heading up every fast food place in town. The
Would it be
lot,
fair to say that these were of maybe perhaps a bogan persuasion
yes,
as
absolutely,
well?
100 fucking percent. Um,
Right.
so the line for Burger King was going out onto the street. So they did not get Burger King. They went home and they had toast.
Oh. Oh. I feel so sorry.
Yeah, it was a terrible fucking night for them, and I got to hear all about it the morning after.
I can imagine.
Um, yeah, so that was that. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, just pub shit.
Hmm.
I guess in general.
Yeah, we were just talking about. Fuck, I can't remember
Which,
specifically.
yeah, I don't know, but it was supposed to also segue into the second thing that I asked you about. Um, the fuck am I supposed to eat in the UK?
Yeah, I gave you an answer. Um.
Yeah, the issue
So
the issue is the answer is again, it's one of those ones where I preface the question of like, as someone who has lived in basically a UK light country,
yeah.
what are some interesting things in the UK that I can eat? And you listed off everything that I can already have here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I should just say like I took a break from Discord because of exams. Actually, I want to talk about that later. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I came back. I had a lot of messages like, okay, food. So yeah, I didn't. I had like a lot of arts and stuff. So yeah, I didn't read that.
That's fair
I
enough.
didn't know you meant. Yeah, I must have just skimmed that.
But
But
yeah, like the full English here is just called the Big Breakfast.
yeah, yeah. Uh, like okay.
Like for
I'm trying
because
to.
at the moment the list is currently Nando's, and my girlfriend has suggested that she takes me to Jollibees.
We don't like in Newcastle. We don't have a Jollibees. So
Well, it's a good thing I'm going
um,
to places other than Newcastle.
yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like I could never have I would never have even thought of that. As I've never been.
Oh, same. I don't
But
even know what
okay.
Jollibees is.
I will say, um, see the thing is sort of in like the UK, at least sort of like in my family and um the people I know is that we mainly eat what you'd call like non-British food. If it's not like a Greg's or something, then you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
like
Greg's is 100% on the list.
yeah, but like I was saying, like like for me, like probably the cuisine I eat the most is Italian. Like even like for homemade cooking as well. It's mainly like pasta shit. So um, yeah, I just don't really like proper British, or at least like very sort of British specific. Um,
I think one
I
of the
guess
other things I might be interested in is I'll need to find a kebab from a cart.
I was I wait from a cart.
From a cart, yes.
No,
Like
no,
a
no.
food cart that sells kebabs,
Oh, okay.
because kebabs here are that they're almost restaurant food.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can technically get them takeout, but like in my mind, kebabs are almost something you dine in for.
Yeah, no, not here, not here. Um, I would say honestly, like I wouldn't go so much as like food cart as like go to an like wherever you are, whether it be sort of London or Leeds or something. I think York's too small for it. Wherever sort of like the nightlife area
Yeah.
is, get a kebab from like one of the tiny little shops, like you know, staffed all by like immigrants and stuff. Like those are the peak kebabs, But they tend to be like 'cause it's drunk food, so they
Yeah.
tend to be around sort of the drinking areas. Um, that's like peak kebab. Like the chippy, but like not fish and okay. I would say you've got to get like a proper fish and chips, but I'm not so into fish and chips to tell you where like the best ones are. Like I know like maybe the
Yeah,
best one in
the
Newcastle.
thing is, I've also
But,
had like the proper fish and chips as well.
well, no. But see, this is what I was going to say. The thing is you've got to go to the chippy and get the non-fish and chip shit. Get all the other mad shit they do because you know you know how you were
Offage.
saying like kebab is almost sort of restaurant food. Sort of in the UK, like things like fast food places like McDonald's and whatever, are like sort of almost like sit-in restaurants here because like in terms of that like really sort of fast food that is often filled by those places in other countries, we have chippies, and so they do like getting a curry from a chippy or I mean, like go to any chippy and any sort of Chinese, which are like chippy Chinese Indian, they'll have like fucking 10-page menus, like filled to the brim on like all sorts of stuff. Like my local chippy just like haggis stuff and like Thai stuff and um, none of it's particularly good, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah. I think there's one. I
crazy
think
stuff.
there's absolutely one in York. I think it's called like Vikings or something.
Hmm.
Where that seems to just be the northern poor person everything shop.
Mm.
She
Yeah,
get she because she gets like kebabs and or she gets like kebab meat and pizza at the same time, and then like puts the kebab
oh
meat
yeah,
in the fridge
yeah.
so
Like,
that
like,
she can
like
have it
any
there
any
after.
chippy does pizza, does kebab, does burgers, um, does sausages like battered sausages, does fish, does they'll probably do curries. Oh sorry, like a curry or something. Um, oh yeah, getting a curry and chips. Ooh,
And then you got to dip the
that's.
chips in the curry.
Oh well, yeah, well they pour the curry on the chips. Um, but
You can get chips from curry places here, but that's just because we have kids menus.
yeah.
Fucking hate kids menus. It's one of those things at work. I'm sitting there, it's like, why the fuck does the Indian place want chicken nuggets? It's like, all right, because there's like fussy fucking kids out there.
Yeah.
Look at these fussy
Uh,
fucking kids.
I was one of those fussy fucking kids.
It's been particularly annoying for fussy fucking kids this week because I've been dealing it. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but somewhere along the line, our Labour government and all their benevolence um, decided that school lunches was the way to go because Maori people cannot feed their fucking kids because they're retarded. Um, so there's been this big government plan for like schools to provide lunches, which means it gets subcontracted to a catering company to buy a shitload of food from us that we have to store somewhere, and it's really fucking annoying.
Mm.
And I've had to like send out three massive orders a day for these fucking people because they keep dropping it. Apparently, they bought like 50 kilos or something of like frozen down beef mince that was already like pre-cooked in
Yeah.
Korea of all fucking places. So it really brings into question like the quality of this fucking food. If this subcontractor is buying the cheapest shit they can get from a place that has cooked and frozen it down halfway across the fucking world,
Mm.
um, you know, you gotta wonder where the fucking money goes on that, and it's probably not into the food.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so it's just like government money as well.
it's yeah, that too. Um, fucking hate this government. Uh, but Yeah, so they brought like 50 kilos of the stuff, and then they like recooked it so that they could then freeze it down. And
Oh.
for some reason, they like dropped it, or like the bottom of the container fell out, and they just lost like 50 kilos worth of food just like that. So they had to buy more of it the next fucking day. And
Jeez.
each time they do this, I have to waste like half an hour in the freezer playing fucking Tetris, trying to get this shit out of its cunty little fucking corner. Because I'm supposed to only
Yeah.
need to go to it once a week. Uh, this week has been shit, and it actually segues into another
Oh,
fun story. I've got
go for it.
tons of stories this week apparently. We're gonna roll with it. I ran a social experiment at work.
Okay.
Um,
Do you tell?
all right. It's also actually funny because when I told my girlfriend about this, it reminded her of a movie that we watched that you recommended apparently. Um,
Okay, let me see if I can figure out the movie then. Okay.
there's not a lot of them. Fuck, I'll tell you now. Wait, do you actually want to guess?
No, I do want to guess.
All
Yeah,
right.
sorry.
So yeah, this week has been fucking stressful. My department has been like horrendously fucking behind, and the procedure for dealing with being horrendously behind is to levy literally everyone we can to like do my job,
Mm.
which means, you know, like a lot of the office workers that come in early, a lot of the like shelf stockers, um and the delivery drivers. So there would be like drivers that come in at 5 a.m. and start like picking orders that they're supposed to be delivering that day because they're just
Yeah.
not fucking done.
Mm. Mm.
And on Thursday, I decided, you know what, like, fuck it, let's thank all of these people that like have been doing my job for me because management or some shit is so fucking incompetent. So I ordered a bunch of pizza. I got about 6 pizzas from Domino's because it's like the easiest one to get shit from.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I ordered them under the name of Sue Dunham because it's the best pseudonym. And yeah, so I ordered all these pizzas to come in at about like 11:15. Uh, and like I specified to like have it all done anonymously. So like, can you please like not leave the fucking receipt with it because I don't want, you know, this receipt with my fucking credit card name on it.
Mm.
Um, and also to leave a note like right on the box, like for people who helped with picking.
Mm.
And then I just wanted to, I wanted to see what happens. Like, does it just get left in the break room? And I want to see like who picks at it.
Oh, I think I've got the film. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Do you want to guess now?
Is it what's it called? Is it like the platform,
It is
like
the
the Spanish
platform.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, we actually watched that fucking last week.
No.
But by shit, yeah, it took a while. I downloaded it and then just kind of left it there for a rainy day.
Mm.
Um, because I horrendously fucked up the torrent for the movie that we were supposed to be watching that week, which I think I've mentioned before. I'm trying to watch as many Ryan Gosling films in a row as I can before
Yeah.
she notices. So we watched Blade Runner 2049 and we were supposed to watch Drive last week.
But it didn't work.
No, no, it was real fucking quiet, and there was also no subtitles on the file as well. So actually need to double check the second one I got before I try again tomorrow. But yeah, it was the platform. Um, so I did the math when I got home, and there was about of like I made a list of all the people I could remember who like helped with picking that weren't actually pickers. So like not me or my co-workers, but like all of these other people, and I got about 14 people or something. So, rough estimates, if everyone took about quarter of a pizza, we should have only gone through about four of the six.
Yeah.
Um,
That's not what happened.
that's not what happened. Uh, so I'm trying to think of like how to tell the story because I couldn't be watching the entire thing all of the time. Like I was trying to remain anonymous in this, and like so I was doing my job and just trying to like sneak glimpses at what was happening when it happened. Oh, there was a funny part where like the delivery guy showed up and he like rung me, and so he rings the phone and it's like, "Is this Sue?" And I answer in my manliest fucking voice, "Yes, this is Sue." Um, so it got left at checkout, and checkout ordered my like supervisor to come down and sort this fucking out because they don't know who the fuck ordered this thing. On that note, nobody guessed that it was me. I don't think anyone tried guessing after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Uh,
pizza.
yeah,
Fell from heaven, you know?
yeah. Um, nobody told me there was pizza. That was an interesting thing. Like,
Damn, it's a doggy dog world,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is a doggy dog world where you are a diamond dozen. Um, yeah. So the pizza did not last an hour. I can estimate that about half of the drivers, the delivery drivers who helped us out, were not around during the entire devouring of the pizza. Like they were out
Wow.
doing their actual job, but some of the ones on the shorter runs had come back in time to get some pizza and then deal with their second run.
Yeah, yeah.
So of those like 14 people, maybe three or four didn't actually get any pizza. What is interesting though is um there are two. I didn't get to see if like any of the people who like office workers who clock in at like 9 o'clock after all of this chaos has happened. I didn't see if any of them pinched any. I'd be interested to see how that went.
Yeah.
Um, but there were these two girls who show up at around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning who are actually pickers. Um, I saw them eating pizza, and then I saw them stash away two pizza boxes. Now,
How do you stash a pizza box? You can't like just slip
to,
that
to,
down the pants. Like,
well, no, they kind of like put it with their stuff in their designated spot, which they think they're fucking entitled to. But I did, when no one was looking, like shake the boxes. They weren't full. I'd say they either had like a quarter to a half a pizza each that they were saving for later.
geez.
So, yeah, 6 pizzas, of which I saw none, and a bunch of people who I think were entitled to some of that pizza did not
Didn't get any.
get any either. A fun little social experiment in self entitlement and self governance.
Yeah, I sort of like I'm a fat cunt, right? You know, and sort of the policy I've always you've got to wait for everybody to have food.
Yeah.
You can't get seconds until everybody's went food. Now, make no mistake. Once everybody's I'm the first cunt, right? Who's like, I'll do like the polite thing of like saying to the guy next to me, like, I'll go like, oh, is everyone, you know, I'm gonna go up for seconds. I'll announce it, so, you know, other people can come if they want. Like, I'm the pioneer, but you've got to wait. And Yeah, well, when it comes to like pizza etiquette, like you can't take like what is it, like half to like three quarters of a pizza. Like if you're assuming they ate a quarter and they took a half
Yeah, like
for
I saw them eating
for
pizza
later.
while they also had a pizza box stashed away. Uh,
Yes, like
I did consider like asking the supervisor that had to handle it later, like you know how it went, but at the same time, I don't fully want to reveal my hand and make because I don't. Despite all of this, I don't want to sound judgmental. I think being judgmental in this kind of ruins the experimental aspect of it. Like I feel I shouldn't have an opinion on how it should have gone.
yeah, because at the end of the
Because
day,
I
you
just
could
want to
have
see.
loudly announced and told everyone,
Yeah, I
and
could have
yeah.
done what I did on Christmas, where I bought like 60 something boxes of chocolates and gave them out to all of the co-workers that I found remotely fucking tolerable.
Mm-mm.
Which was especially funny because it was also another sort of social experiment in its own right. And when you see the co-workers that you fucking despise were assuming that you were just giving away chocolates to everyone. And there were a couple of instances where that they kind of just took it from the pile that I was carrying around and not have it given to them by me. And I stared at them like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That's some real petty shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll get to you when I get to you, and I'm not gonna fucking get to you. But then there was also the co-workers that I felt the most deserving, and they were genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a much more pleasant experience. But it was fun watching how this one panned out.
Mm. I'm glad you had fun.
I did have fun.
It sucks that no one told you though. That is a
Yeah, it's also just it also serves as a nice little I don't know if microcosm is the right word, but just the general way that like staff room food works in general. Like anyone here who has worked night shift knows that shit does not get down to you. Like if any food is like brought in, it is devoured before you even see it. Like you might see a box in the bin. You'll never actually see the food.
it's a what's the word? I can't say doggy dog world again. I've already done that. Uh, it's a canis caname edit. Uh,
I don't know what the fuck that means.
it means dog eat dog. It was the word bully for the Rockstar game was censored here, so to get around it, they gave it a Latin name, Canis Canane Edit. And then the 360 version came out, and they're like, the censors were like, actually, it's fine. So,
Yeah,
but it's one of those things where like no one knows Latin, but all gamers know in the UK know a little bit. uh,
the censors are kind of funny to the point where it's almost arbitrary. Like I think I've talked about it before that Gal Gun, which is like a itchy Time Crisis ripoff for the PlayStation 4, I think, was banned in New Zealand. But its sequel and the VR re-release of the first one were not. So that was funny. But yeah, like it was a fun thing to watch. Yeah, nobody told me about it, which I think is the most surprising part because usually someone will tell you if something's going down,
yeah,
and I don't know if they were like if they thought I wasn't deserving or like that they saw the note and they're like, oh, he didn't he didn't help with the picking, so he doesn't get any, or whatever. I'm also a
If you're,
bit surprised that no one figured out it was me, because I feel there's a very short list of people who would qualify for like even if you were like exclude like past things I've done, like there's a very short list of people who were like, okay, we need to like give out pizza to all these people. And I was like, who's on the list? What, the supervisors and the three people who work the actual job during that time frame.
yeah.
It's like, so you got a handful of people, and
Well, maybe,
all of them went, well, it's not me and it's not you. It can't be that one person we haven't talked to yet.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say maybe just people didn't think about it too much, but
Yeah,
if you're saying that people,
that's also another part of it. Yeah,
mm,
probably the bigger part, but yeah, I don't know. It was fun to watch,
yeah.
and in competition, I'm having pizza tonight. I would have had it that night, but I'd had like 3 nights worth of stroganoff like in the fridge,
Mm,
so I was going through that, and it's finished now.
yeah,
So that's my
yeah.
stories. Aside from the fun thing that happened yesterday, and is the other part of why I'm allowed pizza now. Um, because
Oh,
in an effort to not be an absolute fat cunt, I've kind of set myself the rule that I'm not allowed pizza except for when I like do my blood donations and shit.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
which normally happens like once a month, so it's a nice thing to happen. But yeah, the plasma donation yesterday fucked up big time.
Yeah, do tell, because I must say the only thing I I only know one part of the bit for this story, and
Which is
the bit where you posted your cock and balls. So, um,
oh
yeah.
no, that was completely unrelated. Like
So yeah.
that was just a matter of like yeah, because when I do these donations, because the last possible like appointment time is exactly when like work cuts off. Like
Yeah.
so I leave an hour early so I can go home and have a shower. Like I haven't spent the so I can walk in there and not smell like I just spent the past 7 hours in a warehouse.
Hmm.
Um, and I'll post a nice little picture in podcast. But yeah, so the donation kind of fucked up, and it's also it's my 10th donation, and it's been a long time coming because I was supposed to do my 10th donation at the end of March, but because of the false positive COVID,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like wasn't really able to donate, and then actually getting COVID kind of fucked it up for April as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of like the first time in yeah 2-ish months that I've been able to donate, and it was the big 1-0, which means I get a prize because
Oh, so you don't get paid in New Zealand, do you?
no, it's all like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
donation, and yeah, but we do get like oh like for your fifth donation you get a bumper sticker, and it's like where all my pins come from these days. But yeah, I got a pen and a water bottle that I haven't checked out yet. It's still sitting in like my storage compartment on my bike. They also gave me a free little like bottle of hand sanitizer, and it comes in like a little fabric vest so that you can like hang it on the end of a keychain.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll post a picture of that as well. But yeah, so I went in and started doing the donation thing, but somewhere along around the first cycle. So for those who don't know how plasma donations work, they hook you up to a machine which draws the blood, spins it through a centrifuge to separate the plasma from the rest of the blood, like the red blood cells, and then they pump the red blood cells back in, and they do this in like 500 mil cycles. So they'll take out half a liter of blood, separate the wheat from the chaff, and then chuck the red blood cells back in.
Yeah.
Around the first, and because I'm a fat cunt who can donate the largest amount of plasma that they will take from you, which is like 900 mils, I have to go through about 4 cycles. But during the first cycle, I moved my arm a bit, which jolted the needle, and I because I'm watching the machine, because there's like not a fucking lot else to do except fuck around on your phone, which gets a lot less interesting when you're constantly trying to do it for an hour and you can't check the not safe for work channels. It's the one time in my life where I'm actually thankful for like that temporary muting function that you get.
Yeah.
So it's like,
for
yes,
for 30 minutes or
yeah,
something.
like yes, please mute this channel for 1 hour, so I can get rid of these like white highlighted channel tabs. But I moved my arm and it fucked with the needle a bit, and I could watch this like flow rate dial on the machine, except it's not really a dial, it's just like a LED bar that like goes up and down.
Yeah.
And I watched it just drop, which is not good. It means it's not feed, like I'm not giving blood at a particularly good rate. So I call over the nurse, and then the nurse calls over her supervisor, and he's like, okay, that's not good. Fortunately, it happened when I was at around like 490 mils donated, so it was basically at the end of the first like drawing cycle. So like, okay, we'll just keep it in and we'll see what happens. And then the return phase started, and it burnt a lot. Like I won't say it was extremely painful. I'd say maybe it was like a 4 or a 5. I don't know. Like it's one of those ones where it's not like you're screaming, but you are kind of sitting there controlling your breathing.
No.
And yeah, that's my dinky
You
little.
have to like focus and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, oh, if it doesn't hurt too bad, like we can continue. It's like, nah, I don't want to fucking deal with this for another 40 minutes.
Yeah, fuck that.
I did offer to do it with the other arm, but he said like, no, technically we have like a usable amount of plasma from just the first cycle alone, so we'll just like deal with it some other time. But yeah, so it fed in and it burnt because it was like the needle was in just really fucking shallow, and that's why I have this like blood blister shit on my arm now.
Yeah.
Which doesn't hurt, but it's just gonna sit there for a while.
Yeah, I had a bad experience with a blood blister. When I was really young, I never had one before, and my sorry,
go on.
When I was 8, my mother had saved a lot, saved a lot of the money, so to take us on a holiday. Because a couple of things had happened at that point. It was sort of a great time for the family.
How old were you?
And so I was 8.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, we went to Turkey. We were actually in the German part of Turkey, like the German tourist area, because it was cheaper. It was great. It was a fantastic time, and
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with a German part of Turkey, unless this is some like joke about like Germany
no.
basically being Turkey, and there's a Turkish part in Germany.
Nah. No, I was big brain enough to make that joke. No, no, I like literally like this, like certain cities and certain areas that, um, you know, typically target maybe a certain foreign country for tourism. So yeah, we were
Like,
staying where a
like
lot of
is
German
is
tourists
like
were.
is this a recent thing or like?
It's been around for as long as I live. So for example, like things like Benidorm and Mallorca in Spain, very much advertised to British tourists. Like you can get like the same day Daily Mail in like Spain and shit, and like this proper pubs and import stores and all that, like all catering to British people. Like some of those.
Yeah, like I
Um,
was trying to figure out if this was like some I don't know how to say it, like either like a post Cold War thing, like a
Maybe
globalization thing, or is this like some sort of I don't know, like UN like fucking
no, no, no.
ruins almost, where it's like there was this big UN operation in this part of the thing, and so there was a lot of migrants there, and it kind of just stayed that way for the next
No, no,
50
it's
years.
more. If you would ask me, it'd be based on the package holiday that came in like the 80s and 90s, like cheap
Yeah.
foreign vacations, and the airlines would consolidate. They'd want it to make the cheapest as possible, so they'd only go to like a single place, and so it was wherever, like if Air France goes to one part of Spain and British Airways goes to another, like that'll be what informs it over 30 years. You'll have people moving there. I think that's it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah,
Just
I can
you know,
see how that happens, yeah.
anyway, so we were staying at this hotel. It was nice. I had a pool and everything.
Ooh.
It was quite nice. And I, we mainly went around and just saw like the old shit and had fun. But um, the big thing that was planned was the water park. We were going to go to a big water park. Anyway, the day before, I've got this big red spot, and I just pick it. You know, and it starts bleeding, and it doesn't stop bleeding. Um, and so a doctor, because we're tourists, we don't have insurance or whatever. I mean, it's Turkey, so it didn't cost much. It's like 70, 80 quid. But like, we didn't have a lot of money. That was still something. But the big thing was I couldn't go in the pool, and I couldn't. I couldn't go to the water park, which was like the main thing that we were going to do. So my brother and my sister went, but also my mother. I was 8, so she had to stay as well and take care of me for the second half of the holiday. So I ruined her holiday and I ruined my holiday just because I picked a fucking blood spot. Um, yeah,
Sorry, can you please
traumatic
Kevin
memory.
can you please Kevin Manlet in original content?
Uh, okay. I've deliberately not been looking at that. At this shit.
Sorry,
So
he's just saying he thought that like Fukushima happened around the same time as 3 Mile Island.
I don't actually know when to. I said 3 Mile Island. I don't actually know when that occurred. To
I
be
think it was
fair.
in like the 80s or something. Which is
Yeah, I remember it. Like, no, I like my memory of it is that like hazy footage, sort of like on documentaries. But 3 Mile Island accident,
you don't need to know it. We just need to Kevin him.
1979. Yeah, I just feel bad that I've got a bunch of people I've got to respond to after this. Um, okay, Kevin. So yeah, I actually had an eventful couple of weeks as well. Um, if you don't mind my talking about it.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm in my exam period.
You
Um,
are.
I was worried that I might miss today's pod, but it's kind of lucky in that my deadlines for this week's stuff was all yesterday, like midnight last night. So um, today is just kind of a chill day, which I decided to do something with it, and then it's like on Saturday I've got to kind of just get back on um, working for my final exam, which is next week, and it's my biggest exam. But yeah, I last week I had a very interesting experience regarding getting to my exam. Um, it was not. So I decide a couple of things before. My exam is at 12 o'clock. Um, and it's my Japanese listening. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I'm early. So it's normally when I'm at the train station, it's normally 20 minutes. It's a 10-minute train and then a 10-minute walk. So normally I get there like half an hour before anything starts. I was like, I'm gonna get there an hour and a half before. So I go and I decide not to buy my tickets online because sometimes those systems fail. They're notoriously unreliable. So I'm going to buy paper tickets, which I never normally get, but I'm going to buy paper tickets. So I'm in the queue, and the queue's moving reasonably quickly. But there's only 2 attendants, and there's 2 people in front of me. One of them, let's say, does not have a great grasp of the English language, and the other person is an old woman who is buying all of her tickets for the next year individually. So,
God,
do you want to take a guess on who finished first?
The migrant.
Yes. Only took her 20 minutes. This is like for context. For me, it was 30 seconds. This queue is supposed to be like, where are you going? Or where would you like to go? Actually, no. Fuck it. You just say where you want to go. So I just go and I say like, hi, I'd like a return to return ticket to Durham. For today. You know. Oh, sorry. What's the date today? Okay. Pay by card. Yep. Pay by card, and that's it. It took me like 20, 30 seconds. You know, it's supposed to be just a buy ticket go. So these people like inquiring about shit and all that, but whatever. I get my ticket. I've still got tons of time. I go to the barriers, and I press it, and it's not letting me in. So I go to one of the station attendants, and I ask, like, my ticket's not working. And, you know, they look at it and they say, it's for the wrong date. It's for Saturday. I was like, I said I wanted it today. And they're like, you're going to have to go back. So I had to go back to the ticket office. And because those people took so long, and I should say the old woman was still there, like, those people took so long, the queue is now outside the office, you know? So I'm back in the queue.
You could kill her, you know.
Oh, she's really obnoxious as well. She's like, there was a guy who was going to be late for his train, and
just cough in her direction, you know. Like, she'll get COVID.
Yeah, there's a guy who's going to be late, and she was like yelling, like he was trying to say his postcode, and the guy wasn't understanding him, and she was like yelling his postcode in the phonetic alphabet, like right in the guy's face, for no reason. But anyway, I'm in the queue. Another 10 minutes goes by. You know, this time it is moving faster. I get my tickets amended. And now I have my tickets. I finally look at the board. And it turns out it didn't matter because every train is cancelled. Every fucking train is cancelled. See, normally I don't look at the times until I have a ticket, you see, because I normally have, a long ticket. You know, I just have a card and tap it. So this was very rare that I had to pick up a ticket. Anyway, I'm now panicking because all the trains are fucking cancelled, and there's a train that's supposed to be in 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes passes and it's supposed to be in 5 minutes, and it just keeps getting extended and extended. And essentially, what had happened was there was a failure between Edinburgh and Newcastle, like a points failure they call it. So, and that's the main train I take. So all of those trains were delayed or cancelled. And so the platform is full. There's like terrible internet access because there's like 1,000 people on this platform. And
all trying to look at the same like page.
Yeah, or just contact and I'm having to frantically contact because you can't be late for exams. for this shit, like, you get capped. Like, it's not that I wouldn't be able to redo the exam. It's that your mark is capped, Like, you can only get, like, just a passing grade. And in certain things you need to do better than others. It's really not ideal. So, I've got my friend Donald in Durham who's running after my Japanese teacher. Like, going from building to building, trying to get her. Because because we're all Japanese students, we use the Japanese messaging app Line. So Line is working, but sorry, my Windows has changed language to
it's
Dutch.
Urijn.
Everything's in fucking Dutch. What?
I mean,
Whatever,
I mean,
okay.
that's just drunk English. Like, should be fine.
Okay, no, never mind. So, it's awful. I'm panicking like crazy because I can't be late. I eventually get on a train, like a local train, so it's longer. I arrive in Durham like, but by the time I get to my building, I'm half an hour late. And it's a 1 hour exam. So I go in, and my teacher's like, go to the Russian office. And my joke here is that
Because they're
I
not
guess
doing anything lately.
yeah. Fuck! Don't steal my shit. Fuck you. Yeah. So I'm able. I arrive basically just like because the exam is still going, that I can sit my full exam in another thing, but I was like shitting myself, and
With
I
no
chilled
cap.
out with. Sorry.
With no cap. Sorry, I mostly just wanted to make that joke, but like there isn't like a cap on your grade if doing it now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
Get it? No cap.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, very good.
I can hate myself right now.
So I go hang out with like my friends who've already finished for about half an hour now. It was really nice. Like I got like an unironic like hey, there he is, because I haven't saw them in a while. I was like, yeah. It was nice, and then I was like, well, shit, I gotta go because I've got to write a full fucking paper tonight. So I went home and I did the worst thing you can do, which is just have a quick nap. I've had a long day, all that shit. I'll just close my eyes for a little bit. Woke up at 9 and my paper was due in at midnight. So I had to shit that out. And I didn't learn my lesson because it's not like I had a nap, but I forgot about my thing yesterday. So, I know I also missed my exam there, but that was my fault. I wrote down the wrong time for yesterday. I wrote down 11 instead of 10. So, luckily other students were doing it like 1, so I could redo it there. I'm having a terrible record.
Yeah, you are not going to survive Japan.
Yeah, I need to get my fucking shit together. So it's like, I've got one more exam and I'm like fucking tattooing that shit, like making sure I'm there on time. But that one's got me nervous because it's 60% of my Japanese grade is this one like 3-hour exam. So if I do well on this, then great, I'm pretty much sorted. If I do shit on this, then I'm pretty much done. I'm gonna have to retake shit in August, which heavily affects our possible trip.
Yeah, because that's like right next to when you leave.
Yeah. There's a lot of things like with that because I'm talking with Sleepy as well. Because Sleepy's wanting to plan his shit, and I'm like, I don't know my stuff. Like, I can't say, listen, I can host you for a week. Like I can't say that right now because I have no fucking idea. Like, if I pass my exams, then my August is going to be great. I'll be preparing or whatever. I can do tons of shit. But like, if I don't, like, I'm not going to be able to host anyone. And fuck, like, I'll go down to York. I'll meet Moon. and
Uh,
then I'm straight back up
oh
revising.
no,
I can't.
well the plan for me is just like go up for a weekend in Newcastle, and like even then I'll be staying in like a fucking travel lodge or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
In
yeah,
which case, Sleepy can crash with me during that time, and we can have a not gay double bed.
yeah. I've already enjoyed that with Sleepy. Um,
Well, the difference is,
but yeah,
I don't know. Will I be absolutely shit faced?
but yeah, like it's. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm kind of nervous because it's not failing my year. It's like failing like one class. Like my overall grade is really high, but it doesn't fucking matter if I do good at essays. That doesn't help my Japanese language. So, um, and it's not that like I'm shit at Japanese. It's just the level, like the increase in level is pretty hard. So like I've had two mock exams. One of them I did like two mock of the exam I've got to take next week. One of them I did really well in. I got lucky, knew all the questions. You know, like the essay stuff did really well.
Got them
The other
Slumdog
one,
Millionaire vibes.
the other one I did shit on because it was asking me about stuff I just like about to write about topics that I never looked at the vocabulary for. Um, so yeah, I'm quite there's a fairly big possibility I'm gonna have to retake my Japanese exams in August. And that means I've got to like operate as if I'm going to fail. Because it's like there's no way that I can like do next week and then just fully relax for 3 months until I get my results in July. And if it's like, yeah, you've got to retake like an exam or all your exams, then it's like, well shit. Like I can't do that. You know, I can't like, oh, I've got to revise all this stuff in like a week before the reset. Like, I just won't do well again. So I have to like keep working through it throughout the summer. Um, but I could just be massively like over panicking,
I mean, at the same
and
time,
I'd be fine. You
like
know,
studying in general during that time is not the worst plan.
especially moving there. Yeah, it'll probably be useful. Um, shit. Yeah. So, it's gonna be a long summer because the worst thing is I don't know until July. So it's like all the plans and stuff. Like regardless, I'm gonna see you. You know,
Yeah.
like if you're in the UK, I'm going to see you. But like the difference between hanging around for like a full weekend and like taking you around to like, oh, you've came all this way. Obviously not for me. I know you're meeting someone a lot more important to you, but like you've came all this way to Newcastle, and it's like I'll pop in, have a drink with you at the pub, and then sorry, I've got to go because I've got an exam tomorrow. You know, I yeah, it's
Just hanging out in Durham for a laugh.
you're just hanging out in my fucking exam hall.
Oh,
For
not in the
stuff.
exam hall, but I'll just walk around the fucking campus. Pay $8 for a coffee. Great.
Hey, to be fair, no, Durham's pretty good actually, because it's a city, because it's a northern city, you know. There's no real campus. I mean, the problem though with Durham is that it's a smaller York, so like the ooh, that's a really cool cathedral. Oh, that's a really cool castle. You're gonna see that in York. So Durham is just gonna be like a York you can do in a couple of hours, basically. Like that's it. So I don't think it's gonna be too much for you there. But
I mean, it sounds interesting, but
if you're here, I'd be happy to take you. It's literally on the train between Newcastle and York, because yeah, so it's not hard to get to. Uh, but yeah, it's one of those things where it sucks because I'd love to like be able to plan stuff or like assure sleepier shit, and I was telling him like I just can't until I get my results, which will be fucking July. So um, I'm just not gonna know until then.
well,
But yeah, fuck
we'll
exams.
see. Yeah, well, best of luck, and we'll see what happens. Um,
Thank you, thank you.
do we have anything else?
No, no.
I,
Shit,
I,
we,
I, I think it has been a very good. It's only been an hour and a half, but it feels very action packed.
yeah,
I hope
yeah.
you listening have enjoyed this.
We haven't had to have a filler arc or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. I guess my final notes.
Sure.
Where did it go? Oh yeah. Uh, Satisfactory is currently 44% off on Humble Bundle. For anyone who has found that my like 2-3 week long crack addiction interesting. Uh,
Be careful, guys.
and
Be careful.
I mean, I don't know how much of it is a warning to be careful in general, and how much of it is just me. Because I know people who I would think would be really into this and have previously played this and have only got like half as much as time as I have like dumped into this. And their factories look like fucking spaghetti.
Oh, your factories are all clean and shit, all nice and
No.
organized.
Uh
Oh.
yes and no. It's sort of once everything's all in one place it looks nice, but like getting there is chaos.
Mm.
But yeah, I finally got my nuclear reactors working last night.
Nice.
Which came
I
with a
assume.
yes, it came with a live show of that only Maurice attended, and there is no video proof of it. Where I plugged I'd built everything, but I left like one power line missing between where like what powers the uranium miner and everything else. So it's sort of just like plugging this in and then standing around for 10 minutes as you watch the uranium trickle in and get refined and turned into a thing. And then following this thing on a 2 kilometer long track to where I have all the nuclear reactors. And then following it to the point where it goes into the nuclear reactor and then checking like the power lines to see this like spike in available power. It was the most visually unimpressive thing that I had so much joy doing. And now I need to do literally everything else.
Oh, well, best of luck.
I'm gonna fucking, because the issue now is that I'm against the clock. I have about, I think, 80 in-game hours to sort out how to deal with nuclear waste, and I think it's going to be enough. I think
Jesus Christ.
it as in like the waste sits in a box, and it's going to build up, and there's a finite amount of space in this box, and by the point it reaches critical mass, the radioactive radius, like when it starts like ticking off Geiger counts, it so it's going to be about 400 meters, which is
Yeah.
a lot of space. So I've got about 80 hours to fix that before it becomes a problem. And given I'm 100 hours in, I think I'll have enough time.
So I just saw Sleepy left a comment. Astro Boy killed the fisherman. Thank you, Sleepy. There's your shout out.
Yeah. So, yeah, but otherwise, there is a spring sale going on in Humble Bundle. There's a bunch of things on sale. I'm actually going to pick up a couple of them.
If that interests you, check it out.
Yeah. If you like not helping charity, go hit up Humble Bundle. It's one of those things like you manage your rewards. I take all of the percentage that should go to charity and I put it into more discounts. So yeah, thanks for coming, everyone.
Yep, thank you, everyone. Take care and
Have a good
see
day.
you next. Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.